about this one that was intriguing. He speculated on which one of his hotel staff had fathered the child. It was unlikely that she was the child of a guest. The faded blue shorts and shirt she wore were definitely shabby. It wasn't plausible that anyone who could afford the luxury rates at the Santa Flores Hotel and Casino would dress their offspring so poorly. "Aren't you a little young to be out here alone at this hour?" he asked. She looked up. "I'm 11, she told him seriously. "I look younger because I'm small for my age." "Won't someone be worrying about you?" he persisted. The long, dark lashes masked her eyes as she looked down again, her hands busy in the sand. "No." He shrugged and picked up his towel, making a mental note to find out who was so negligent as to permit a child of 11 to wander unsupervised on a deserted beach at dawn. As he turned to go back to the hotel, the child spoke again. "You work at the hotel, don't you?" The silver eyes were gravely inquiring, the small hands clasped serenely on her crossed knees. "In a manner of speaking," he said coolly. "But why do you assume that? I could be a guest." She shrugged. "It's too early for hotel guests. In a place like this, they stay up as long as the casino's open, and then they don't get out of bed until noon the next day." "You're very well informed," he said mockingly. Then he caught himself, amazed that he was talking to this child as if she were a contemporary. She was gazing at him thoughtfully, noting the mockery and accepting it with composure. But he had the odd sensation that she was withdrawing within herself, much like a night-blooming cereus that folds up its petals when exposed to the powerful light of the sun. It was suddenly intolerable that he might have hurt this strange waif. He smiled with a heart-catching warmth that would have astounded the few who claimed they knew him. "I didn't thank you for telling me about the man of war," he said. "You might have saved my life." She shook her head but said nothing. "My name is Steve Jason," he added coaxingly. "Don't you think it's about time we introduced ourselves?" "I'm Jenny," she said hesitantly. "Jennifer Antonia Cashman." "I'm very happy to meet you, Jennifer Antonia Cashman." She studied him for a moment as if wondering if she could put her trust in him. Then she smiled. He caught his breath involuntarily. It was an incredibly lovely smile, lighting up the somberness of her thin, gypsy face with a special fascination. "And I'm very happy to meet you, Steve Jason," she answered with old-fashioned formality. He lingered, oddly reluctant to leave her here on her own. "Why don't you walk back to the hotel with me?" he asked. "Your parents will expect you for breakfast, surely." She shook her head, surveying her sand castle again. "I'll stay here a little while, thank you." "Well, at least tell me your parents' names and what they do, so I can tell them where to find you," he said in exasperation. "That won't be necessary." "Answer me, Jenny," he ordered. He thought for a moment that she was going to defy him. Then she looked up at him, her silver eyes steady. "My father is Henry Cashman. He's a gambler." A puzzled frown wrinkled his forehead. "Do you mean he's a dealer at the casino?" Jenny shook her head. "No, he doesn't work at the hotel," she said softly. "He just gambles." Suddenly the child was on her feet and was flying down the beach toward the hotel, her dark hair floating behind her like a glossy banner. Steve Jason gazed after her quicksilver figure, startled momentarily by the abruptness of her departure. Then, his sapphire eyes thoughtful, he slung his towel around his neck and started to walk slowly back to the hotel. "Why are you staring at me like that, funny face?" Steve asked idly, letting the white sand pour slowly from his cupped hand. "Do I have a smudge on my face?" He was sitting beside little Jenny, his face lifted to enjoy the caress of the early morning sun. He had been conscious for some time of the surreptitious glances she had been giving him. He had grown used to the tranquility of the child and no longer thought it unusual. This sign of self-consciousness in her aroused his curiosity. "I was thinking that you reminded me of someone," she confessed awkwardly. He raised his eyes.